Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle is a very well-liked and respected leader in the Catholic Church. He made a big difference in the lives of many people and the world church. Because he really cared about people who are often overlooked, knew a lot about church teachings, and was determined to help the poor and promote justice, he helped shape the direction of the church in modern times. Tagle came from a poor family in the Philippines and became an important player in the Vatican. His life story shows how much he loved helping others, had a strong faith, and was naturally a leader. Let's talk about his early life, his rise in the church, and how he had a huge and lasting impact on the church and the world as we say goodbye to him in this job. Cardinal Luis Antonio Joaquim Tagle is one of the most famous and respected leaders in the Catholic Church. He is known all over the world by this name. Tagle would rather be called by his nickname Cheito than by his official title, however. The Philippines gave birth to him on June 21, 1957. He is the oldest child of Manuel Topacio Tagle, who is Tagalog and a pious Catholic, and Magros Joaquim, who is Chinese-Filipino and used to work for Equitable PCI Bank. Flower, Tagle's grandfather, was from Emis Cavite. The Tagle family was part of the Principalia, which was a group of rich and powerful Spanish Christian families that lived in the Philippines before the 1896 revolution. Florencio was hurt when a bomb went off during World War II. To help support her family, Tagle's grandma ran a small diner in the area. Tagle grew up in the south of Manila and went to St. Andrew's School in Parañaque, Rizal in 1973, where he got a good education and moral base. In his early years, the priests who taught and guided him made him feel called to become a priest. They showed him how to live a life of faith, learning, and service. After that, he went to the Jesuit San Jose Seminary. The Jesuits are a Catholic religious order that is known for its good education and focus on social justice. After he finished school there, he went to the well-known Ateneo de Manila University, another well-known Jesuit school. There, he got a Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy and graduated with honors in 1977. He grew in his love of religion at the Loyola School of Theology, which was also in Ateneo. During 1985, he went to Washington, D.C., to study at the Catholic University of America. He wanted to learn more about the Catholic faith. He studied systematic theology there, which looks at how different parts of Catholic faith fit together. In 1987, he got a lectorate in sacred theology, and in 1991, he got his doctorate with the best honors. In his doctoral thesis, he looked at the idea of episcopal collegiality, which means that Pope Paul V VI shared authority with bishops. Theologian Joseph Kamanchak, one of Tagle's professors, praised his work and said he might have become one of Asia's best theologians if he hadn't decided to become a bishop. After getting his Ph.D., Cardinal Tagle went back to the Philippines and did different jobs for the archdiocese. He was made the rectory of the school in Emis and helped guide and train people who would become priests. Not only did people know him for having a great mind, but also for being kind and good at leading. He was given the great honor of being asked to join the International Theological Commission in 1997. This is a group that gives the Vatican advice on theological problems. The same year, he was an expert at the Senate of Bishops Special Assembly for Asia. There, he talked about the Church's work and problems in Asia. Pope John Paul II made Tagle the Bishop of Emis on October 22, 2001. On December 12, 2001, he was officially made a bishop. Many people came to admire Bishop Tagle for his deep compassion, strong pastoral leadership, and dedication to social justice while he was there. People of all faiths praised how humble and easy to talk to he was. 10 years later, on October 13, 2011, Pope Benedict I made him Archbishop of Manila, which is one of the most important and well-known jobs in the Catholic Church. His first day in office was December 12, 2011, 10 years after being ordained as an Episcopal priest. His position started a new era for the Archdiocese that was centered on change, acceptance, and reaching out to the poor and those who are on the outside. The following year, just 1 year after being named Archbishop of Manila, Tagle was made a cardinal by Pope Benedict I. This quick promotion showed that the Vatican really saw his skills, leadership potential, and growing impact in the church around the world. When he became a cardinal, he joined the top leaders of the Catholic Church and was one of the youngest cardinals in the college at the time. A lot of people thought that he might one day be chosen pope after his appointment. In the years that followed, Cardinal Tagle kept making a name for himself in the Philippines and around the world. His voice became important not only in theology but also in dealing with important global problems like poverty, inequality, protecting human rights, and protecting the environment. He led the Filipino Catholic community, which has one of the biggest Catholic populations in Asia, with a lot of care and a strong sense of pastoral presence. Progressive groups in the church looked up to Cardinal Tagle because he stood up for the poor, worked for social justice, and supported caring for the environment. At the same time, more conservative members of the leadership admired his strong faith, adherence to sound theology, and gentle humility. One of the most important things about his leadership is that he has always been dedicated to welcoming everyone, showing kindness, and taking care of everyone, especially those who are on the outside. Cardinal Tagle is one of the most important Catholic figures of the 21st century and a recognized church leader around the world. He is a deep thinker, a real spiritual person, and a caring pastor. Cardinal Tagle always spoke up for people on the edges of society, especially the poor, the abused, and the socially outcast, when he was Archbishop of Manila. His leadership was marked by a strong dedication to fairness, kindness, and including everyone. He pushed for a church that is not only based on faith but also open, friendly, and deeply involved with the problems that regular people face in their lives. In his vision, Cardinal Tagle saw a church that welcomes everyone, no matter their background, race, or income situation. His main point was that everyone, including LGBTQ+ people, should be treated with respect and decency. He agreed with what the church taught about marriage, but he preached with a tone of pastoral care instead of condemnation. This was very much in line with Pope Francis's goal of being merciful and open to everyone. Tagle asked people to stop using words that divide people and to be more understanding and kind to people who have different ideas or life experiences. As a moderate Catholic, Tagle agrees with the Church's standard views against same-sex marriage, abortion, birth control, and what he calls practical atheism. In an interview in March 2015, Tagle stressed that the Church needed to use more understanding and up-to-date language when talking about gay people, single moms, divorced Catholics, and Catholics who have remarried. He said that the Church had used strong words in the past, which made these groups feel like they didn't belong. He was hopeful about the recent changes in tone and stressed how important it is to take a pastoral approach that treats each person with care and understanding, especially in counseling and the sacrament of forgiveness. Tagle also said that every case involving a Catholic who is divorced and then remarries is different, and he warned that applying the same rule to all of these cases could be damaging. It was clear what he meant. Nobody should feel uncomfortable or judged in church. It should be a safe place for everyone. Reform-minded Catholics all over the world praised his position on this issue. But more conservative groups also didn't like it. They thought his method was too lax or even against traditional Catholic teaching. Even though there was resistance, Cardinal Tagle was adamant that the Church's main job is to show Christ's love and mercy, especially to those who feel left out. His guidance and message have come to represent a bigger change in the Catholic Church. Pope Francis and leaders like Tagle have pushed for a move toward a church community that is more open and caring. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle was known for having a lot of kindness, especially for the poor and those who were on the outside. He spoke out against social unfairness and worked hard to improve the lives of those who were less fortunate in his community. His guidance was very much in line with Pope Francis's reformist ideas, which stressed kindness, acceptance, and community service. Tagle had an effect on a lot of places besides the Philippines. He took an active role in dealing with global problems like poverty, climate change, migration, and human rights. This earned him a lot of respect in the Catholic community around the world. His work with Caritas Internationalis, the Vatican's charity group, was one of the most important things he did for the Church around the world. As president, Cardinal Tagle led attempts to broaden Caritas's reach, with a focus on the most helpless people in the world. Corotas took care of important problems like hunger, economic injustice, and the environmental crisis while he was in charge. His strong support for fair, long-term solutions to these issues showed how important the Church is in supporting kindness and justice around the world. Cardinal Tagle worked with Corotas and was also the head of one of the Vatican's most important offices, the Congregation for Evangelizing Peoples. He was in charge of Catholic missionary work all over the world and helped the Church figure out how to deal with the spiritual and physical problems that people all over the world were facing. In 2017, Cardinal Tagle led the Lazarus Project, an Easter social media effort that used the hashtag #ResurrectLove to encourage more inclusion in the Catholic Church. People who are often left out or judged, like workers, the homeless, and LGBTQ people, were asked to be kind and accepting by the effort. Cardinal Luis Tagle was made prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples in 2019. This is one of the most important jobs in the Roman Curia. In this job, he was in charge of all of the Catholic Church's missions work in most of Asia, Africa, and Oceania. By appointing him, Pope Francis showed that he trusted him to be a modern and world-minded leader of the Church. It was around the same time that Cardinal Tagle took on more duties in the Vatican's pastoral service, which included family and social issues work. Even though he wasn't president of the Presidential Council for the Family before, that council had already been merged into the DEC for Laity, Family, and Life. Still, he became a strong voice for more caring and welcoming spiritual care for families, especially those who are going through difficult or unusual situations. Cardinal Tagle became more and more important in the Vatican over time. He was admired all over the world for being able to connect with people from different cultures, having deep empathy, and working hard for social justice. Many people saw him as a possible heir to Pope Francis because of the way he led with warmth, humility, and a strong desire to help others. Tagle was made a cardinal bishop in 2020, which is the highest rank in the College of Cardinals. In Rome, he was given the title See of San Felice Dantalis a Centole, which was meant to show that he was important and high in the Church's hierarchy. Cardinal Tagle wants the Catholic Church to be welcoming, open, and able to deal with the problems of today. He thinks the Church shouldn't just stick to custom, but should also be a living force for good in the world that encourages kindness, fairness, and communication. His main idea is radical welcome, which means that the Church should accept everyone, no matter their background, family structure, or sexual orientation. His focus on welcoming everyone is very similar to Pope Francis's call for a church that serves as a field hospital, going out into the world to help people who have been hurt by life. Cardinal Tagle is also a big supporter of talking to people of different faiths. He thinks that bringing people of different faiths together is important for promoting peace and understanding around the world. His work with people of different religions, especially in Asia, has shown how important it is to accept each other and share morals. Tagle has also spoken out about environmental fairness and climate change. He has asked Catholics to see how important it is to protect the earth, citing Pope Francis's encyclical Laudato Si as an example. He talks strongly about how everything is connected and how the Church needs to protect the earth for future generations. Cardinal Tagle's skill to adapt to the digital age is one of the things that makes him a great leader. He knows that technology and social media are becoming more important, so he uses them to connect with people all over the world, especially younger people who are more likely to be online than in a regular church setting. Cardinal Tagle offers messages of hope, kindness, and faith on Facebook, YouTube, and other digital platforms that reach people of all ages and backgrounds. His friendly and approachable way of talking to people has made the Church seem more real to people who might not normally feel close to its rituals or institutions. Even though Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle has done a lot for the Church, his path has not been without problems and criticism. As we already said, his time as Archbishop of Manila was closely watched because people thought he was involved in politics. One of the most controversial problems in the Philippines while Tagle was in charge was how involved people thought he was in partisan politics. Someone said that he was guilty of letting clerics under his control speak out too much about politics, especially when Rodrigo Duterte was president. The Church, led by Tagle, was one of the few groups that spoke out against Duterte's violent and highly criticized war on drugs, in which thousands of people were killed without a trial. Some lawmakers and even members of the church hierarchy said that these actions were too political, even though many people who support human rights and the church thought they were the right thing to do. They said this made it harder to tell the difference between church and state, which is protected by the Constitution, and could hurt the church's credibility as a moral leader and neutral party. These complaints led to a bigger argument in the Catholic society. Should pastors only be spiritual and moral leaders, or do they also have a duty to speak out against wrongdoing, even if it means getting into a political fight? Another thing that caused a lot of debate was Cardinal Tagle's position, or what people thought was his position, on the Vatican's deal with the Chinese government about choosing bishops. A lot of people thought the deal took away the Catholic Church in China's freedom. People who thought Tagle would do more to protect religious freedom and the rights of secret Chinese Catholics were angry that he didn't say anything about it in public. A lot of people have also looked closely at how he handled claims against clergy while he was Archbishop of Manila. Some critics said that he didn't take strong action against priests who were accused of wrongdoing, and that in some cases, discipline action was delayed. Some of his supporters said that the accusations were baseless or meant to hurt him politically, while others said that his reaction was not clear or quick enough to protect victims and hold him accountable. This made a lot of people think deeply about his ability to lead and his desire to change things in the church. Some people inside and outside the church are wondering if Cardinal Tagle's openness and willingness to be progressive could turn off more conservative parts of the Catholic leadership. Being worried about him in this way affects not only his power in the Vatican but also rumors that he might run for pope in the future. Tagle left behind a lot of things. Some people don't like how he handles sensitive issues like the China deal and how quietly he does it, but his strong commitment to social justice and the rights of the weak has made him a recognized voice in the Catholic world. His leadership continues to fuel a dream of a church that is truly involved in both spiritual and humanitarian missions and works to heal, uplift, and speak up for everyone, especially those who have been forgotten. Through his digital outreach, he has been able to connect with people who may feel left out or uninterested in traditional religious rituals. By meeting people online, he has made the church more relevant in a time when things change quickly and beliefs shift. In the Catholic Church, Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle is a sign of hope and rebirth. His smart, spiritual, and unwavering dedication to social justice leadership has already had a long-lasting effect on the Church and the wider religion community around the world. No matter if he becomes Pope Francis's replacement or not, Cardinal Tagle will have a big impact on the Church in the years to come. Through his life and work, he shows how strong faith, kindness, and selfless service can be over time. Cardinal Tagle is still on his path, but he has already cemented his position as one of the most respected and influential Catholic leaders of his time. He continues to inspire millions of people around the world. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle's life and work show a strong mix of humility, intelligence, and great compassion. From his humble beginnings in the Philippines to his important positions in the Vatican, he has never wavered from his goal to help the poor, support those who are on the outside, and lead the Church with honesty and hope. Even though his path hasn't been easy or been free of debate, he has built bridges between tradition and modernity, between doctrine and mercy, and between faith and action. As the Church deals with a world that is getting more complicated, Cardinal Tagle's words and actions continue to lead the way for a more fair, caring, and inclusive future for Catholicism around the world.